Welcome to Outlaw Woodworking. It's not all fun and games. You don't get to work in the shop all the time. And sometimes you got to come out and fix other people's shit. My house in the mountains was built about 15 years ago. And when I was ripping off the front deck, me and my friend, we found that they didn't put any waterproofing from here up to underneath the flashing. In other words, it just stopped right here. And they had this metal, corrugated metal, that was on here, and it actually only came up to here, and then there was more of this wood siding right here with no paper, nothing underneath it. And this side of the house gets the most snow, so and rain and water and everything. So today we're gonna change that. We're gonna clean this up, and we're gonna add waterproofing up underneath this flashing, and I'll show you how I'm gonna do it. We're gonna use this product, BITOTHANE System 4000, and it's a rubber self-adhesive waterproof membrane made specifically for foundations. But the first thing you got to do is you got to use this conditioner, and it's basically like a primer. Apply by spray using a pump type air sprayer with a fan tip, or by roller. We're going to end up just brushing it. Clean tools with water before conditioner dries, or you can clean with mineral spirits. So basically, it's just a primer that helps this adhere to the concrete. And where we go up on the wall on the floor system, we'll use roofing nails for that. So let's get started. The first thing I do is pull some of the gravel away from the foundation that isn't exposed. And this part of the foundation doesn't actually, it actually goes to, it doesn't go into living quarters, but I still wanted to get the waterproofing down as far as I can. And then I proceed to put all the primer on the concrete first, and I'm just brushing it on thick, and it looks like it's pretty sticky after it dries, so it must adhere pretty good. So I cover up all the concrete first, and then I actually put a second coat on the concrete. And I put a coat on the wood. I thought, well, that'll help me when I'm sticking it up there to before I nail it. It'll stick to the wood temporarily, and then I'll nail it off there. But yeah, basically I just brush on all this primer, and yeah, get it ready to seal it up. It's hard to believe someone would not waterproof from the flashing down. I mean, what's the use of the flashing? But anyway, that's another story, I guess. But after it dries for an hour, the first piece I thought I could do like 100 inches at a time, but it was too big, and that first piece gave me a lot of trouble. But I did get it up and got it all stuck down, and then I said, I'm by myself, and I really could only handle 3 or 4 feet at a time. So I think the first one was like 4 feet, and then I figured out that 3 feet was actually the perfect size for me, and I overlapped them like 4 inches on each one, 3 or 4 inches, and they have an overlap line on them too. So yeah, each one I just cut 3 feet, overlapped each time, and it ended up sticking to the wood really well. So I didn't have to nail it anymore like I did on the first one. They just stuck really good. And I made sure, I found there was a damaged piece on a lower part, and I patched that with a strip too. This stuff is really sticky, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's a lot easier if you do it during the construction though, instead of doing it afterwards. When you're doing it afterwards, you're fighting everything like the backfill and the imperfections, and so yeah, just do it right the first time. But if you have to do this is it's an important thing to do. So I was glad I got it done. One of these pieces was hard to do, and it ended up really wrinkly, but this might be it right here. No, that one turned out okay. Anyway, yeah, I proceeded to put all this BITOTHANE on, and I tell you what, it was a lot of work by myself, um, but I did get it done, and I was real. That's the one that went wrinkly, I think. No, um, and I'll tell you what, it sure is a good feeling when you turn around, you look back, and you all your wood is covered up. Like I said, protecting the wood is just as important as building it, and that goes with keeping your outside stained and everything. So there it is. I don't know how many feet that was, but I got it all done today. So the first step of that process is over. Thanks for watching this episode of Outlaw Woodworking. It's just as important to learn how to protect the wood as it is to learn how to work with wood. So this would have been a lot easier with two people, because I was one person. I had to basically, I could only work with like 3 or 4 feet at a time, and I overlapped 4 inches each time. And the conditioner that they give you works really well. Let it dry for an hour, and it is sticky. I mean, it actually, the first section I started to nail it, but I didn't need to nail it. I realized it was sticking really well. And so, yeah, so that's basically protecting that whole floor system that had no waterproofing on it at all. And then what I'm going to do, you don't want to leave this BITOTHANE exposed, and I think that's what happens to a lot of people up here in the mountains. They have a big section of it that's exposed just like this. But in my case, I'm not putting wood back down here. I'm putting stone. So the next step will be to basically, I'm going to put hardy backer on this entire bottom section underneath this flashing and prepare it for stone. But that'll be for another video. Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like the videos, and I'll see you next time. Later. Here you go. Come here. Come get it. Here you go. Right here. Come on. Come here. Here. Come get some.